Hi everybody, welcome to Stampers Club. I'm Karen Trolfa and today I have some great guy projects for you. I know those are sometimes hard to do, we all like the girly things, but I have some great ones and we're going to be playing with some airplanes, right? So we have Father's Day is coming up, so you can always use the Father's Day greeting in this stamp set. Let me show you what we have. So like I said, we're going to be playing with airplanes, Adventurous Sky. It definitely has Father's Day, friend, lift me up, happy birthday. So we have a variety of greetings in this set, but we're also going to be making these two cute little tags. You're going to love these too. And it comes with a matching die set so that you can cut out the images that get stamped. And then there's a plane that you don't have to die cut or stamp, and it'll die cut too. So let me get started and show you what we have here. So for my first card we're going to do is I've got copper clay cardstock. So this is half a sheet of 8.5 by 11. I've scored it at 4 1/4. Just kind of get that a nice little burnish here. Then I have some Misty Moonlight. So I got different pieces here. And then a piece of basic white. This I've already pre-embossed with one of the new embossing folders. It's called Dashing Designs. So it's just kind of like manly, right? We don't want to do something that's not manly, right? All right, let's see here. Let me get my tape. And I think this, you'd think I would know which is which. I think I like this side better, so, or the other side rather. I'm going to put this side down. They both look so good. This one might be the deboss side, but it'll still look great, right? I wanted just a little bit less bumpy. All right, so that's just on Misty Moonlight with basic white. And this is just going to get added to the center of the card. Super easy, right? I have a little bit larger of a border on this one. Of course, you can always pop over to my blog so that you can find the full written tutorial on this card, and that is stampersclub.com. Lots of fun stuff over there. Okay, so just to kind of make this a little more leathery looking, I'm going to grab my copper clay ink pad, and this is just a stitched circle from the layering circles. A basic, definitely a scrap room basic, right? And I'm just going to kind of pull in and kind of give this some highs and lows. It's not 100% coverage anywhere. It's just it just gives you some looks almost a little worn, right? Okay. And that I want to put on the circle that I cut in the Misty Moonlight, and this is from Everyday Details. I lost my tape. Like, right? It's like, oh my gosh. Right in front of you. I guess that means there's too many things on my table, right? All right, we're just going to kind of center that on there. And this I'm going to put on with some dimensionals. My AKA Diamonds, Girl's Best Friend Dimensionals. Got to give everything a little bit of texture, a little bit of elevation. I'm just going to put that right in the middle. I think that's the middle. Sure it is. It is today. Okay, and then here are those pieces I was talking about that the die cuts. They just cut out kind of like the plain center and then the bi wings. Now, of course, this could be, kind of a plane all by itself too, right? But I'm going to use that as the little bi wing guy. I'm going to get some liquid glue. And this is glue. This glues, when you layer this up, it's going to cover the wheels, the nose, and this little bit of the tail. Not this very bottom edge here, doesn't get overlaid. So I just want to put glue on the tail, a little bit on the tail there. Maybe a lot on the tail there. Definitely some on the wheels, and then a little bit on the nose there. I think I have a piece of paper that hasn't actually popped out of there. Right here. Got this little piece right here. There we go. Get rid of that. So this will just layer up right over if you start with the wheels, and you'll see this little tail kind of line up with each other, and then the nose will line up. So see how this doesn't really get over the top of the white. It hangs off, so don't add any adhesive there. Otherwise you'll be having it stick to everything, right? This is a really quick card. I'm going to grab a couple of dimensionals on this. This is a really quick card. And then we're just going to kind of put our little plain, you know what, I'm going to double stack these. I didn't do that before, but I think it'll look good double stacked. Sometimes, you know, just want more. Too many is never enough, right? All right, I'm going to just kind of put that right about there. Then I have this little cute little propeller. Okay, I'm going to add just a little bit of glue to that. A little glue on that. Maybe. And I'm going to put it right over the top of the nose there. That is out of silver foil. You get 2 sheets in a package. It's like $5, so it's really, really reasonable. And it's really pretty silver too. It's a very nice and bright. And then another piece of basic white that I've die cut with the Everyday Details die also. That comes with this, you know, it has circles and rectangles. Some that have these little holes all the way around them, and then some that have these little dashes around them. So there's just like these little teeny little dashes. And this I'm going to get the greeting. You're the best, plain and simple. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but mine is not cut off. I just simply trimmed my stamp to be right with the words so I knew exactly where they were. That way when I'm stamping this, because it's not a clear set, I can still see where they are. Perfect. I don't know if you noticed that angle that I had that stamp mounted on there too, because that makes it so that you can see a little bit more of what you're looking at. Now this one, I'm going to add a single dimensional on one side and a double dimensional on the other side. So the single is on the side that says your, and then double on the best. I'm just going to kind of tuck that a little bit underneath that wheel a little bit. Perfect. Then how about some embellishments? You know, even guys like trinkets, right? So these are, they're called industrial trinkets, and they are two different, you know, they kind of have like a double side. So they have a side that's got this little bit of a dashing in them, and then more of a bolty looking type thing, or a rivet. I'm going to use that side. And get a glue dot for that. Perfect. And I'm just going to put it right there. And that card is done. Now, that was super, super quick, right? Absolutely, that was fast. All right, then for the second card, of course, this one's that fun fold. So it's going to be a little bit more. And I have a few extra pieces here. Okay, we're going to start with another, again, half of a sheet of 8.5 by 11. So it's 5.5 by 8.5. And we're going to score it at 4 1/4. Okay, so we're going to score that at 4 1/4. But I want to get this piece on an angle. So we're going to cut this on an angle. So I'm going to do that by lining up my score line and the point on the other side. So I'm going to line the point up down here and the score line at the top. It's just like it lines up right with the groove there, the little cutting edge. And I'm just going to cut that off. So we want that on an angle, right? All right. So then the next step, we're just going to do that. And then to prep another piece here, we're going to have a piece of basic white and a piece of the designer series paper, Adventurous Designer Series paper. I'm going to bring my cutting mat back in again, or my cutting tool back in again. And I want to make sure that when I cut this, I get this angle here. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to put one point there and one point here. And cut that in half. So I need this piece here. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with the designer paper. And again, I want to make sure that this is the angle I want. I want this part of the triangle. Because if you cut it this way, you're going to get a different half of the triangle. So this is definitely a directional type cut here, depending on whether your card's going to open to the left or open to the right. And we're just going to line those 2 points up there. Whoops, that slid. Moved my arm, or my hand, I should say. And there we go. Set that piece aside. These are extra. Don't need those right now. All right. I'm going to set that aside. So this I'm going to mount on there. I think I'm going to use liquid glue for this so that I can get down into these points rather than the tape. Okay. And I have a very low, or a small mat here, so it's like an 1/8 inch. It's probably not even quite a full 1/8 inch. But like I said, the cutting instructions are over on my blog at stampersclub.com. Make sure you subscribe to my email while you're there too, because then you'll get extra little tutorials and things that I send out. That's always fun. When I have my retreats, you'll know about when I have my retreats going on. Anything to do with Stampin' Up, that's what you're going to get. All right, this is going to go on the front of the card here. And again, the border is pretty small. Okay. Liquid glue is kind of nice because it gives you the opportunity to do just a little bit of sliding around on your card in case you need to line it up again. Okay, so now for the inside of the card, I've used the same Dashing Details embossing folder. We're going to add that to the inside. I know you're thinking, okay, so Karen, how would I write on this? Well, you're not. This is kind of a background piece for the next layer. We have a 2 3/4 by 8.5 inch strip of the copper clay that I'm going to score at 4 1/4. Right. And we'll get that folded in half, except for I didn't score it at 4 1/4. I think I was at 4 or 4 1/8, but that's all right. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. We just want it folded in half because we're gonna have some pieces that are gonna go inside of it. Make sure I got the right piece. Yes, I do. All right. So for this, again, I'm gonna add some liquid glue to the back because that makes it easy to slide around. Plus, it's a really strong adhesive too. And this is going to ultimately go in the very center of my card. And that looks to be about the center. Yep. All right, so that's glued down. Now on the front of this, I'm going to add a piece of the Misty Moonlight that I can use tape on. Okay. Put it right on there. All right, and then here's another piece of basic white that I pre-die cut with one of the everyday details. I use the rectangle one that's got the little dots all the way around it. And this one we're going to do some stamping on. We get my clouds here and some boho blue ink. And I want a little cloud, oh, right about there. And then I'm going to flip this over and get a cloud, yeah, probably right about there. Okay. Let me grab my copper clay ink and the Happy Birthday. This would be a good one to, like I said, it comes with a Father's Day greeting. You can always use the Father's Day greeting. Just going to use the Happy Birthday. And that looks good. Perfect. So when I mount my stamps, my greetings on an angle like that, then I'm not trying to line anything up. I'm actually looking at where I'm stamping. I just find that a little bit easier to do. All right, we're going to add this. Oh, I'm out of tape there. Right into the middle here. There we go. I know, upside down clouds looks a little weird, doesn't it? But don't worry, we're going to fix it. Okay, I'm going to use the other half of that little triangle there. It's perfect for it. And I need some basic black. Not basic black, Memento black. This is the Tuxedo Memento black, because we're going to do a little bit of coloring with some blends. I love our blends. Alcohol markers, they're just really fun. So I'm just going to use that extra paper and give me a nice crisp image there of that. And I'm going to use copper clay, light and dark, and the smoky slate, light and dark. All right, so I'm going to start with my dark. And I'm just going to kind of go around the edges here. Nothing super in there, but I'm just going to kind of go around the wings here. Get a little dark there. Go around here a little bit. Here. Just going to kind of follow the dashes that are already on there. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to actually go around this circle too. All right, and then I'm going to get my light. And this is a little bit smaller of an image, so you're not going to get like a ton of shading, but you'll get some shading in here. And then we're going to do something magical at the end to really give this a vintage feel. Because biplanes are a little bit vintagey. I don't know if you know much about planes, but these are, they're out there, but they're more at the air shows. It's not something you see every day. And get this finished colored in here. And you definitely still get some shading by just doing the outlines like that. I don't know if you can quite see, but yeah, you still get some shading going on there. All right, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the gray. I'm going to just get kind of the shading around the corners here, get it on this, along the edge there. Just kind of where the artist already kind of drew some of the lines. Along the bottom here. Doesn't have to be full coverage. Just a little bit here and there. I'm actually going to do the center of my wheels in the dark. Oh, I forgot to do that little leg there with my copper clay. All right, and let's switch over to the light. And then a lot of times I know I kind of do circles. This time I'm just kind of like pulling the dark into the center. So I'm not getting that full circle, but I'm definitely making it so that the dark kind of blends into the light a little bit. Okay, get that over there. And yes, I'm going to go right through where the propeller image is, but that's okay. That's the way it's supposed to look. But I want to make sure I leave some of this dark so that you have these like shadows. All right, get this little spot in the middle and then the other little wing. And then I'm going to show you a little magic trick to actually vintage this up even a little bit more. There we go. I need a little dark in here. This just looks a little too plain. Give it a little darkness so we get a little more shading there. There we go. And then I'm going to do the outside of my wheels in a lighter gray. And again, you don't have, I want a vintage look, so it doesn't have to be 100% coverage. But here's where some magic comes in. I'm going to take the color Lifter. And I'm going to just kind of go along this edge here where these dashes are already here. Okay, I'm just going to give it a little bit. Now this changes as it sits there, so try not to work it too much, because the more you go over it, the more you're going to push the ink away. As this dries, it kind of moves around. My lid back on there. So what's happening here is I'm actually pushing the color away, so I have a little bit more highlighting that goes on there. I'll do a little bit more here, and it has a bullet end also, so you can see where it actually pulls the ink away a little bit. So you get these little lighter spots here. Okay, so you're not actually lifting the ink, you're pushing the ink into another location, is how that works, is what that does. Let me get my little boss out here. Whoops. And I need the die for that. It is this one? Yep. Okay, so there's the die, cuts this out. They match up really nice. I like how that you can still see, the outline, and you can actually see where the image is. You're not covering any of the image with our dies. They go right over the top, right around the edges. So it's really easy to line up. Okay, and then we're gonna run that through here. Okay, let's set that back aside there. And we have our perfectly cut out little propeller. I forgot to color in the center of this. Let's get some dark in there. I forgot to color in the nose. Add a little bit of light in the circle here. There we go. Yeah, that's much better. He looks more finished now. All right, let me bring my card back in here. I'm going to get a couple of dimensionals here. Again, they're like diamonds, girl's best friend. And I'm just going to kind of put it between these two clouds. So as you can see, it's okay that my clouds were upside down. They looked a little bit strange originally, but they look perfectly well now. And then I'm going to get another one of these little propellers. Get some glue on there. And get him going here, right in the middle. Perfect. So there's my little propeller going on there too. And how about one of those trinkets? Let's grab one of those trinkets and a glue dot. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel here, the button below. A couple of likes would be nice, comments. I'd like to know how you like this card. Is it something that you would like me to see make more of? Whether it be just a man's card or more things with this set, be happy to share with you. And voila. So this card, well, I'm not voila, we got one more to go. Just like this. Isn't that amazing how that works? You grab this other piece of paper in here, and I'm going to get another one of these little images. Maybe. I think I forgot to mount it. Did. But that's okay. We can get it mounted real quick. Not a problem. And another one of these little biplane airplanes and some copper clay ink. So I'm only using like 2 colors of ink here. Copper clay and boho blue. Let's get another cute little airplane down here on the bottom. Perfect. Got to decorate the inside here a little bit. The tape was gone, so we'll use liquid glue. My tape dispenser ran out. You'd think that, I would have caught that. And we're going to put that right on the inside. And that's the part you're going to write on. and you just have this pattern background behind it. Still gives you a little more texture, but we have a double fold, fun fold card. Isn't that adorable? Isn't it cute? Now, see how these are getting a little lighter now that this dried? You can really see where those vintage little marks came in. You could even do some on the wings if you wanted to. Same thing. You can just run right where some of the strokes are. The brush strokes are already there. And if you just kind of lightly go across it, you'll end up with a little bit more, again, a little more vintagey feel to it. Okay. It kind of gives you a little bit more lighting tones on there, right? All right. So for some fun items, let's do these little luggage tags. So I have a couple of different ones. I used the Nested Essentials to cut these two parts and pieces here, and this was from the same with the circle. I keep forgetting what the name of that one is. All right, let me grab this scratch paper again here, because we're going to do the same thing with this. I want to get these a little bit kind of like worn. They'll also look a little bit more like leather. Now I'm not doing the whole thing. I'm just kind of giving some areas have a little more ink than others, so it's a little splotchy. It's just kind of blotchy looking. And then I'll do the same to this piece. Now if you notice, I'm starting off my page with my brush, otherwise I get like weird globs of ink in the wrong spot. All right, we're just going to do that. And this is a scrap piece of paper here. And I'm going to get another little airplane with some black ink. Now you could use copper clay and do tone on tone for this one. I just wanted it to have a little bit more of a statement. Ooh, I didn't get it in the whole piece of cardstock there. You know what, let me get, this one's a little bigger. I haven't trimmed that stamp set, or that image, so I was just kind of like, missed it. There we go. We use that little triangle for something, right? Okay, and again, let me get my little box out. And with the little one, the little stamp and cut and emboss, lots of words there. The white shim on the bottom, then a clear plate, then your paper. I'm going to cut that off a little bit just so that I'm not getting that to turn. I don't want to get it caught and have it spin on me. And I need the other die for this size plane. Lay that on there like that. Now a little tip when you're using the little guy. When you put your top plate on, don't line it up exactly here. Give it a little bit of an offset. Will go through your machine a little bit easier. Because this is so narrow, it's got a lot of pressure all the way across. So that makes it so that your plates feed in super simply. Okay, let's put that aside. All right, so let's do some assembly here. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of adhesive on the edge here. Don't need a lot, just a little bit on the edge here. And we're going to put it right over the top of that right over the top. So to make this, I just nested two of them together to get that little hole there. Oh, this could have been, got a little spot. There we go. The nice thing about liquid glue is you can slide things around a little bit. All right, actually I want to get a little more on the edge here so that I catch the copper clay cardstock also there. All right, and we're going to just kind of center that. Doesn't that just look like a little tag, right? Okay. Now I'm going to take my label piece that I cut. Oh, Stylish Shapes. That's the name of the die set, Stylish Shapes. So I used a few just standard dies that are just shape dies making these projects today. But I'm just going to break down the fibers of this a little bit so it's a little bit softer and a little more pliant. Get some adhesive on the back here. Put that in the middle. And some adhesive on the front here. And I'm going to fold that down right there. So that's how I made the loop for the luggage tag there. Okay. Now I want to put my little propeller up here. Put my little propeller going here. Oop, just like that. All right. And get a dimensional. I'm going to get a couple dimensionals. We want to make sure that this doesn't fall off once it's connected to whatever your recipient puts it on. Oh, how about if I put these in the right spot? There we go. And we're just going to add a little airplane here. And let me grab one of those embellishments that are somewhere on my table. You know, they just take off. Right here, literally, right in front of me. That is just crazy. All right, and get it on a glue dot. Glue dots work best for these embellishments. They really do. I mean, you can certainly do them on, you know, with tape, but the glue dot definitely makes it look better. And there's one cute little luggage tag, right? Little something something for your guy to put on his briefcase or his backpack maybe. All right, and then for the second one, we're going to do basically the same thing with our pieces here. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do that, but that's okay. We're going to do it on this one. Get my copper clay. I have like glue everywhere. And my blending brush. And I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to get some highs and lows. I'm not going to do full coverage because I just want it to look like a little more like a natural leather and have it be just a little bit distressed looking, because you know leather always has that texture. A little bit goes a long way here. I want to get some highs and lows on that too. And I forgot to do my label piece on the other one. We want the same thing to happen here. All right, close that up. Okay, and again, we're going to add some glue on the edge of this. Wrong edge of it. I'm gluing on the front of it here. I'm just going right along the very edge, and I'm just putting a very thin line of liquid glue here, as this is going to go over the top of it, just like that. Okay, and then we'll add some more glue to the back side. There we go. Get that picked up. And that goes right in the middle, so it looks like it's got like a spot, little opening, little faux luggage tag here. All right. And then the same thing with our bone folder. And we're just going to kind of like rub it along. Kind of like, remember when you were a kid and you played with that curling ribbon, you know, for like the ends of balloons? It's kind of the same thing. You're just kind of putting your bone folder on one side and your finger on the other and just kind of pull it through. And you could go back and forth if you really wanted to distress it a little bit more. Makes it a little more leathery looking. But we just want to be able to put that loop without it being, without it getting bent. All right, we're going to put it right in the middle there. Hopefully that's the middle. and add a little more glue on this side, and we're going to go right like that. Perfect. Okay. Now for decorating this one, we're going to get that little biplane again and some Memento black ink. Here we go. And again, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. You're definitely going to want to see other videos. I mean, I get it. This one's a guy one. I don't always just do guy ones, but I'm going to do the same thing with this one as I did the original image, where I'm going to just add a little bit of copper clay, just a little bit of the dark around the edges here. Not a lot. And because this image is so small that you're not going to see, or you're not going to really be able to do a whole ton of blending. So I'm just going to let a couple of those spots just be dark all by themselves. Get that going. Come back up here for my little tail. But I know it's hard to see on camera, but there's definitely some shading that's going to happen there. And swing through this edge right here. Yeah, there's some nice shading here on the tail and around the cockpit area. Perfect. Perfect. Let me get my little legs here. There we go. And then the same with the gray. The dark gray, I'm just going to kind of put on the lines here. And I'm going to do my wheels, centers of my wheels. And I'm going to do the center of this too. And then the light. Just by the nature of brushing across, you do pull the dark into the light. It doesn't have to be the circular motion like I normally do. This is all still. You can use either end of these markers too. So if you want to use the blunt end, you can certainly do that. They work just the same. You know, this one, if you want to get in there a little bit, works the same way. If your area is a little too wide for the brush end, we have the bullet end too, so that works perfectly. All right. And let me get the little boss again. Push those aside. And the same thing, shim, a clear plate, then your paper with your image on it, and then the die. Now my die, if you see it, it's kind of like balanced up. You can feel free to give these a little gentle bend backwards. When they go through the machine, sometimes they'll warp a little bit. So just, bend it back a little bit. Don't get too aggressive with it, but you can certainly. I must have glue on that finger. It's like sticking. All right, and then again, the image just kind of lines up there. There we go. Perfect. A little bit there. You can certainly use a little bit of washi tape or double stick or a gentle adhesive to hold that die in place if you need to. Some removable tape. I'm so used to doing this that I just lay it down. If I move it, then I fix it, but most of the time I can usually get it in one shot. Let's get rid of those plates. And we have our other little guy here, and then I want to put a propeller on this one. Add a little bit of adhesive to the spot of my propeller, and I'm going to put that right over the front here. There we go, just like that. All right, perfect. And again, let's get a couple of dimensionals. We want it to be good and stuck on, so we'll use 2 of the bigger ones. 2 bigger ones, 4 little ones, whichever way works for you. And then we're just going to kind of give this the same little guy, just a little, we're going to have them, I like that way better. All right, and then again, one of these little embellishments. Really like these. They do lay flat. Gives you a nice little manly little look here. I'm going to put this, make it look like it is like a little snap almost, right? Perfect. Here we go. All right, so we have, what did we make here today? We did our very quick card. Wasn't this one super quick? With our little biplane. I just used designer paper and basic white to put him together, right? Pretty easy. And then we have our fun fold, our double flap triangle, double flap fun fold for that. And then our 2 little luggage tags. Isn't that just like a sweet little ensemble? Don't you just love it? I thought it was great. So again, don't forget to subscribe, do a like, love to hear the comments. If you'd like to see more cards with this set, be sure to go over to stampersclub.com and check out the tutorial with the blog post for this. The description should be in the bottom. If not, shoot me a little message and I'll make sure that you get directed in the right spot. And again, thank you for visiting Stampers Club and you have a great day. Bye now.